You know, one thing that I really need to stop doing is I just need to start off with a picture. So let's start off with a picture. Fast. Chapter 3. Oh no, where's one of Remy? Here's Remy sad. This picture is it doesn't really breathe sad, does it? It breathes more majestic because he's like high up. There's some really nice majestic purple colors. These leaves look more like feathers. But the thing that gets about the picture is doesn't I like the tears are such a tiny detail. Like even at full. Let me resize this a bit. Like, even at full size, the tears are a minor detail. Like, very little of his body language is conveying. Also, by the way, we have the weird insectoid detailing going on again. But yeah, the tears are such a minor detail. I just know. And last time we had this, which is like the barbecue is like 90% just chatting around, which is what a date is, and then at the end it's like, oh, we want to know about my scar? And then he just talks about a scar. Like, what a date. It's so weird to just have a date. What's weird is you don't get an Anna picture and don't get a Lauren picture. Those are, I think, for the previous chapter. No. I think you get... Is there any major Lauren picture anyway? I think you got like a bunch of intermediate snapshots, but I don't think you ever... Yeah, you get his intro shot. That's it. Something about her anatomy feels a bit off in this one. Ah, shit, I was going to do that beforehand, and I forgot to. Whoops! That's not the one I want. I want the translated one. So we're doing Remy Bucks Aplenty today. Ah, poop. It's a different one. There we go. That's good enough. Wow. This is... Like, it starts off with this song! What the hell? You don't start off immediately, right from the get-go, with a really dramatic song. I just enjoy Chacha Park. It's a nice park with nice people. It's a nice park people want to go. Let's take a look. I think Tatsu Park, the one he uses for this one, is the one with the view. Yeah, Park 2. It's a nice place. I don't know where the purple trees are from. Like, this looks so... Oh, that actually kind of looks like the thingamajig. A bit different, but similar enough. Yeah, like, what a nice little scene. Look at that. It's a nice setup. You can feel yourself sitting there. What's this? I don't care about Stardock 8. There's a lot of ways to set characters apart with how they speak. You can have them... Like, the best way to do it is to give them all, like, a unique way of introducing themselves. Like, when it's, hi, hey, and how you doing? Like, give them something. Give them some pep. Give them some energy. Like, you can make someone sound very strict just by changing the way he introduces himself and how and where and how he puts names. Why does this make Remy upset? Why is this a thing that makes Remy go bleh? That makes him go wham? Oh wow. Wow. I like how Remy just jumps off the deep end with that one. Like, it's not even like the worst way to say goodbye, he just kind of freaks out. Like, cheapers creepers, man. Like, I would've got the little skip thing. I guess he just did that ahead of time. The day of Yelloper. Like a civilized person. I need to put a maybe in there. There we go. Why is he asking this? Like, why? Like, Remy really hasn't done much in this way. Now he's like, what do you think of the aesthetic? Because it kind of makes sense. Like, if someone is in a position they don't want to talk about something, they'll start to make up topics to avoid it, to build up courage. Here's a tip. You don't build up courage as much as you think. You just gotta plunge into it. Like, as someone who's learned that you just sometimes just gotta do things, you gotta do it. Just do it. I need to know something about idyllic. Yeah, so as I thought. This is a weird one. So, usually, most people say bijzonder instead of bijzonder, which is how it's spelt. Isn't that weird? Welcome to Dutch, mother clucker. Man, I just completed all the challenges in World 1 of Rabbits. It's fun. It's really fun. Boy, those challenges can get hard. But they're really fun, either way. Hey, get a couple of extra points. You get more just exploring the world. Hey, every skill point helps. Every character now gets 10 coins out of their golden shots, which you don't get often. I need to look up what they do. Gonna do that right now, actually. Okay, golden shots are just you kill an enemy below a certain health percentage. So you're basically going for an overkill. But they're also at critical health. That's cool. That's cool. It's a nice way to force you to think more strategically. And it's like, okay, well, you didn't kill him last round. Here's your bonus shot. It's interesting that this time, Remy is a lot more, like, if you're saying romantic, he's a lot more into it. Which is weird, because, again, I don't think this mood comes up at all. Yeah, I think it's just gonna stop midway through the date, isn't it? No, it keeps going. And going. And going. Oh, okay, so if you mess up his mood... I like how that comes up when you say that Tatsupark... Like, the problem with this is a little too context sensitive, because it implies you've been making fun of him, when you could have just been talking in your own manner, which is weird. Like, this is the only sensible, like, Remy kills himself point to me. Is like, you literally got his hope up that high, and then he's just like, welp, guess I'm gonna jump off a bridge or something. Although he hangs himself, which does involve jumping off something, usually a chair. How would he do that, though? Like, if you're a quadruped, you're heavy, you can't just hang from the ceiling all that easily. You can't tie ropes, you can't hang ropes, you can't set up the chair, you can't kick the chair as easily. Like, all of the steps required to hang yourself are quite complicated for something that's a quadruped without proper hands. Just saying, there's better ways for him to kill himself. Like, I don't know, tying a stone to himself and jumping in the river. Would have been faster and easier in terms of setup. Because you can carry a rock, but you can't, like, outswim it. If you are, by the way, suicidal, call someone. Just get some help. Suicide is more often than not a symptom of something that can just be treated perfectly well. Sometimes it's a change of perspective. Sometimes it's just having someone. And there's always someone out there who wants to help. Don't let those negative Nancy's get you. Been there myself. Been in a lot of places, really. The majority of them, I just kind of go, eh. Weird. Makes me feel old. They are pink trees, and I want to specifically mention it. It's kind of weird you don't mention that. How long is this date? Extensive. And despite all the bad stuff, it doesn't feel as, like, intense as Bryce did. Yeah, this is actually kind of shorter. Probably because there's less people, and the conversation's a bit more direct. I like this a bit more. It's a bit more rhymey. It rhymes like poetry. It's like if I wouldn't put this with you if I had someone else, but the truth is I don't have someone else. Like, the funny thing about this is that it rhymes because you basically use the same words twice. Although, different words to reflect the actual context, but... Like, if you look at these are basically the same sentence structures. Changed to reflect it. It's not great. It's not like a majestic art piece, like some of my fabulously translated lines. But it's that tiny bit of stuff that just shows that someone's thinking about something. People that think hard or are in big trouble don't form the most eloquent sentences until they get going. They gotta get going! Then the words flow, and then they start making bullshit, and they're like, welp! Man. Wow. That's fucking awful. Like, how is this making fun of Remy by not having had depression in your life? Like, those people exist, and they're now fucked over because they don't sympathize with them. I guess that's kind of the point, isn't it? Like, as you go through the loops, you make adjustments... I need to talk about this now on the chat. I have to. Enough of that. We must get back to video games. I just actually don't know how heart is spelled. It's not a word I use very often. Yeah, there you go. Also, the fact that this is here says a lot to me. The problem is, I can't anticipate the other uses of these words. I know it's Remy and it's late, but sure. I can't. I need to be careful with that. Like, another part about people who are trying to get to this, they'll start to, like, they'll often use fancy words so that they don't have to say the thing directly. Like, I've been there, and I know how that works. Some people just start making up shit. They're like, the contributions to some individuals, like, just say you hate her guts. Come on, just let it out. Just say you hate her. Just say you hate her raw. And if you regret those words, and you don't regret them because you think they're going to be mad, but you regret them because you don't feel like it, well, congratulations. You just found out your opinion about someone. Ain't that a hoot? It beats having to lucid dream to figure things out, but I'm just saying, Remy, sometimes you just gotta say something loud and proud, and stick by that opinion, and see if you agree with yourself or not. Because the fastest way to know what you want is to do what you don't want to do. Then you know what you do want to do. Flip a coin. If you disagree with the answer, congratulations. You wanted the other thing and you always knew it. You just didn't know it. I think Misery actually has a director. Yeah, Misere. Yeah, that's one of those words you just, again, it's one of those escapey words where you're trying to avoid saying the word you want to say. Okay, I'm gonna stop here. I am not gonna do this whole sad story. We're gonna make that its own thing. Because, as we know, these things tend to go on for a while. Remy, you still work in the public sector! What? Like, you still work in the public sector. You still work for the government. I mean, sure, you work as an agent for a government official, but you still work for the government, Remy! You never stop being in the public sector. You dip. How do I translate this? I don't know if this is going to help. I think that word might work. There we go. How long is this? Oh, that's pretty chunky monkey. It's kind of weird that a dean finds her. Show black. Next time, apparently Remy works in the public sector. I wouldn't say. It's not like he works for a fucking public library nowadays! I'm being extremely nitpicky with his language, but... like, I know the context is I worked back in the public sector back then, but the context makes it sound like he's no longer working in the public sector because it uses the word worked in the public sector. And it's so doofy. It's so doofy. Your government can't be the private sector because that's not what the government is. The government, by definition, is the public sector. Yeah, oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, this video ends on a fantastic, hilarious hoot. But why does he bring it up? Like, what is the point of this, then? Like, yes, I made a stupid mistake, but... why this? Why, I mean, I still do, but my position... Why don't you just say, I worked in a different position? You didn't... like, if you've worked in a private sector at some point, I can understand, like, the mental switch you have to make. But at what point does he think that this is necessary to the conversation? Just say, I used to work in a different position. Makes sense. I highly doubt you've been working for the minister all the time if you're in a appointed position. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. As part of a committee. Like... what is this committee, though? Like, give it a fancy name. Like, give it a fancy name and explain it, you know? Give it a little bit of flavor. If you just say, I worked for a committee, that's the thing. Here's the thing. If you give it a name, people are like, wow, it's got a name. Someone gives a damn about this system. Like, it can be a simple name. Just say it's the selection committee. Bam! Someone's gonna be like, the selection committee. Wow, now I can name it. Now I can give it a place in my head. Give something a name so it fits in your head. That way you can remember it better, you can give more context. And just generally speaking, people are like, he was on a selection committee, you know? Instead of, Remy used to do selections for like, just saying. You can do better. And I can do better. I can read ahead one more line and realize I'm dead wrong. Let's just do the little error mistake so that I can be wrong just a little bit more. Ba -ba 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 -ba.